Happy holidays and all that governs. This is True Force Loneliness. I don't feel like showing my face this time. It's been a long day. I had to go and basically be with my aunt, who's my aunt's 80 years old. I don't know how many more years she's got, maybe 2 or 3 more years. And my sister, who is turned 60 this year. I'm 47. Maybe I'll be dead by the end of the video. Who knows? Off screen? No. Imagine somebody trying that shit. Jesus. Anyway, what you see in the thumbnail is kind of what my brother might have looked like if he were still alive. Now, an interesting thing, we went to prune some flowers and put them in the holes for the grave sites. So basically, like, just you prune the flowers, you cut them nice, and then you put them in the holes in front of the tombs of the people of your loved ones. And flowers go out on Thursday, but my sister could only make the trip on a Wednesday. So we put flowers in for my mom and my brother Sebastian, and then there was some for my dad and my sister. My oldest sister is going to be buried next to my dad. I don't know what my grave is. I don't want. I don't want. I don't want to know. So I'm not going to think about it. Okay, and it's a hard one. So we went to eat at Sizzler afterwards, but my aunt said something interesting. Is like, oh, well, now my mom is in heaven, and she'll play with Sebastian and everything. But I think everybody thinks of Sebastian when he died of AIDS. He died at the age of 11 years old, and the reason why you're seeing an AI image of what it's basically me, but edited to look more like my brother with a smaller nose and horn rimmed silver glasses because he was blind. And I think he would have worn like more textured clothing because you can't see color. You can't see. You can feel texture. You can feel the texture of clothing, but you can't see clothing, right? Some people have just bad eyesight. Um, so my brother would have maybe have done things differently had he lived another 30, 35 years. Actually, his 50th birthday will be next year. And I'll do something very, as far as YouTube posts, I'll do something nice. You won't be able to see anything, but you'll be hearing things. And that's the whole point. Kind of like the Ray movie with Jamie Foxx. So the question I have is, it, well, I asked this question is, do you imagine your loved one who died years ago to be the same age as you? Now, if you ever watch like movies where people see their loved ones, but it's the actor standing in front of the person, right? But the character's killed off. So the actor looks the same as when he was killed, right? Or when he died of natural causes, like maybe in soap operas, right? But with with my brother who died as a child, I don't see my brother as 11 years old. It feels weird. I see him in his late 40s. I mean, he'd be 49 now. So that image you see is how I see him. I don't see him as a child. I mean, does that sound weird? I guess because I have no more peers, it would be uncharacteristic of me to think of my brother as still a child who had never gone through puberty, never had teen in his age, never had to smoke or drink or vote, so or know what the internet is or what the latest video games are, or what is AI music, what is mumble rap, right? What is 2000s music? Who's Christina Aguilera, right? Who he was. I mean, Christina Aguilera was like a child when he passed away. So lots of things to think about. Britney Spears was like, let me think, she was like 9 years old, I think, 8 or 9 when my brother passed away. So many things, so many experiences he could have had, but I just don't see him as a child. That's not how I see it. So we laid flowers for our departed loved ones, and we went to Sizzler, and I just wanted to go home. There was nothing for me to do. It was boring as fuck. It was just not anything. It was just empty. It was an empty feeling, and it still will be an empty feeling. Not much I could say about it. Um, all I could say is that when someone has passed that you haven't seen in years, do they age in your head, or are they the same age that you remember them? I mean, it makes sense if you say they're the same age, but what if they got older? And I don't just do that for people in my personal life. Sometimes I think, what if Dr. Martin Luther King had lived to be an old man and walking around like an old man, with a cane or whatever? Uh, I don't know if I think he'd be too old to be alive now. Or if Johnny Carson was 100 years old, what would he be like? Or certain people like, or even John Lennon. John Lennon would be, just what, 70s, in the 70s, 80s? I think about, yeah, he'd be in his 80s. I just don't see people the way they were today, but what they could have been, what they might have been. I don't know. Am I the only one that thinks like this? What goes on through your mind when you do that? I guess loneliness, since we're not talking about women right now, we are talking about death, and death will make you lonelier because those people are no longer here. But I just wanted to contribute my bit about this. It is going to be a cold, depressing holidays. I'm going to try to go to the 20-sided tavern event, the Dungeons and Dragons thing. Bob's Big Boys nearby. I'm going to go there. A lot of things I can do. But anyway, enjoy the Mickey Mouse comic strip. More to do. Metroid Prime 4 tomorrow. And I'm not too excited about it, but hey, whatever it is.